friends and fans and guys and gals. Ready for this next episode of Bob's Barn Workshop. Wondering what I'm up to today. Well, you know, I did this kitchen makeover 20 years ago or so. New cabinets, new countertops, which I built, laid out my cabinetry, whatever. At the time we added a incinerator, garbage disposer, dishwasher, and mowing faucet. Well, here's the problem with the disposer. Yeah, it's dead. It's jammed. We've tried using the whirly thing on the bottom to loosen it up. It won't turn. Motor's fried. And the spigot works fine. But the neck is incredibly hard to turn. And so whatever is in there has turned. See, the core is even turning. It's jamming. So I went over to buy a new disposer today because I'm going to put exactly the same one back in that I can just twist onto the mount bracket. And I figured as long as I have that out of the way and those plumbing drains out of the way, I can get to the sink faucets. So I got to take all this stuff out and turn off the water, and we'll change both of those parts out. Okay, we got you right down here, down and dirty. I need to get all these pipes apart so I can get them out of the way. And these are just hand tight fittings. Let's see, you want to take that one apart first. That's the actual trap. It's gonna be full of water. So you can see I've got a pan underneath. That's not too much. Alright. I got this slanting downhill a little bit, as you can see from the disposer. So we need to loosen that guy. Loosen the top. Oh, and that's got a fitting on it. Good. It's got like one of the same kind of, it's got like a knife. I'll turn it around and show you in a second. It's got like a fitting just like the other ones on it. And it has to spin off. And that comes off. And that's one of those compression fittings. So none of this should need to be changed. And I gotta go get a screwdriver because this ring up here actually rotates this way. You just stick a tool in that and turn it, and the whole thing will drop. Now this hose here coming into the back, which you can't see yet, is the is from the dishwasher. So that blows out of the dishwasher into the top of the disposer chamber, so that when you run it, any debris that comes out of the dishwasher goes through that. So I have a lot of this other stuff here. Apart. Ooh, a little bit of water come out of that. I got a feeling these are all going to have to be changed. All these fittings on this mowing faucet are going to be different than the Delta. They are 3/8 nuts on the top of the valves. So we'll see what we need to do with that. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm back, and I moved the camera around a little bit so you can see where that dishwasher lead comes in. I know my elbow's right in front of you. I'll only be there a second. And one thing you can't forget is when you install your new disposer, you have to break out a little wall like inside the disposer, because if you don't use that, you don't want water squirting out all over. Now this one I just designed with a cord, so it plugs into the outlet over here, and the outlet is switched. That way if you need to get a jam, you can just unplug it and make sure you're not going to accidentally grind up your fingers. Now if you see how this works, you just put the screwdriver in the hole, and that loosens up this clamp, and off she comes. Alright, so I need to change that wire over to the new one. But first, I'm going to change out these faucets, because I bought exactly the same kind of disposer, so it's going to slide right back onto this fitting. I don't have to change anything in the sink. And I get some paper towels, which are handily located right there. Soak up that water I just spilled, so I don't have to deal with laying in that. I guess I can probably get this stuff out of the way. This is for the sprayer. Everybody wants a sprayer, right? I just want to get it down so the water comes out of it. I guess that's good. Alright, I got to read the instructions on the other faucets and see what I need to do. Alright, well of course, I don't have the right other hoses. I needed to get the plastic hoses to go from the 3/8 fittings on the water valves up to the other standard 1/2-inch threaded things on the other valves. So I got to go back to Home Depot. I can tear this out while we're here. These guys have O-ring gaskets in them, so you don't need to tighten these up a lot. Let the water run back, which it is. Make sure those are off. If these valves are questionable on your unit, I suggest that you change them now. Okay. Now, normally there's just little plastic discs that screw up on here, yeah. And this hose unit should come apart here somehow. Or Bob will be cutting that. Come on. This stuff snaps on there. See, it's like a little finger joint and it's stuck. I want to get it off. So I need to get my, or a big knife. Or a big knife. Oh, there's a stinking spring in there. That was wonderful. For my knife, wasn't it? It was a sharp knife. Careful not to cut yourself. Alright. Now, there's a... In the old days, you needed a basin wrench because there was tight pipes that went up in here. And I have a basin wrench. But these are just held on with... plastic discs that have little flanges on them where you can get a hold of them. And I see there are screws holding the clamp up there to clamp that down. So I have got to get it in there. And loosen those screws up on that mount. Of course, with these screws 300 miles long, I don't know how thick they think your countertops are going to be. these set screws in this flange pull the fixture down tight, and then that screws off. I really can't get you up in here to see what I'm doing. There's just like an 1.25 inch stem sticking down from the center of this faucet unit with threads and a brass ring. And the brass ring will fit over all this stuff. Plus you gotta lay on your back and lean up against the cabinet and all that crap at the same time. But I'm pretty sure I can get this crap out of here. Alright. Get one out and then the rest will come out. Then I can get it past the rest, I think. Nope. Jeepers creepers. There we go. I had to bend the pipes a lot, but it's junk anyway, so she's going to the recycle bin. There's that big brass ring with the set screws that have this particular brand. As I said, every brand is a little different, so now, since I loosen that up, this whole thing is loose. It'll come up and out. Cutting this crap off with a saw here pretty soon. Are you kidding me? Oh, there's that one. Okay, gotta get one out. Jeepers. There. Well, there's that junk. I'm sending a load to the dump here, so I guess this thing will be going with it. Alright, we're going to clean this area all up and get ready for the new faucets. Another improvement I'm going to do here is that's the floor of the cabinet. And it looks like it was made out of something like particle board, OSB, masonite, whatever. But you can see a little bit of water has leakage has destroyed it, made it buckle nasty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go buy a piece of 3/8 plywood while I'm at it. And now is the time to, I'm going to have to cut it down the middle to make it fit. There's no way I can get it in there in one piece. But I'm going to cut it in 2 squares and lay it in there to replace this so it looks nice. My wife will love it. And so while I'm over at Home Depot getting those parts, which is where I got to run to now, I'm gonna replace the valves. Those valves are looking a little shitty, and they were hard to turn. So I'm gonna get some new ones too. So I'll be back in a while. Of course, for you, it'll only be a second. So I just got back from Home Depot again, and I retrieved the proper hose type that I need to go from here, which these just screw on gently, down to my valves. I probably should put these together now before I drop them in and make my life a whole lot easier. But as I said before, I have to clean up that surface a little first. You don't need to, whatever, I got spray 9 here. We'll see what spray 9 does. I got me a Scotch-Brite. Oh yeah, that's cleaning it right up. Pretty good. You know, I've seen people use different things over the years for different purposes. I forget what I saw somebody use an oven cleaner for, but it seemed to be something automotive, if I recall, which I don't. And we're going to have to take this, maybe, maybe we don't need to take that base for the spray handle out. If that's the same or very similar, I would say, why would I remove it? Alright. Alright, so that guy's done. This is an old sink too, but I keep using it because it's a good old sink. I'm going to drop my fitting down there and see if that fits. Perfect. No need to change that. Alright. She drops right in there just like she's supposed to, don't she? Alright. Less work is less work. I'm going to get a wrench. Okay, so I've got those two pipes attached. And I think I am going to put the spray hose through the hole, pre-attach it because I don't want to have to climb up under there and do any more than I have to. Now there's the way the thing goes on and clips, 2 O-rings. Line that up, just slides on, easy as pie. It's made for the DIYers like you and me. Wiggle that down through, look at that. Not on a hoe handle. Now I might have to go call my lovely assistant to help hold that in position, but she's looking pretty good. I'll go get the nuts. These are plastic nuts just like the moment that I took off. I gotta go under. Okay, I'll stick your head in there just so you can see what I'm talking about at first. I won't be able to see the screen, but then you'll be a little bit cockeyed. But if you look up in there, you'll see the water hose coming down, and you'll see the 2 studs sticking down that you have to put thread these plastic caps on to hold it down tight. Now with that nylon gasket underneath it, you shouldn't need to caulk it. If it makes you feel better, you can caulk underneath that. But I don't think you need to. So I'm going in, boys. I'm going in. And I'm going to pull down on this. With the hoses to hold it in general position. While I tighten this up. Now these had goop around them before, silicone, so it kind of helps me center it up by looking at that silicone that is left behind. Of course, these can always be adjusted. Turns out. Tightening down nice and tight. Now, we're back down to the bottom here. Ow! Always fun to kneel on stuff, ain't it? That looks good. Alright, now we're going to go back down below. And I measured, and my hoses at 16 inches were just enough to reach where I needed them to go. I was going to change these valves, but I decided against it. And look at that. They sit right under the valves, out of the way. Just like so. And I can push that guy up like that. Get him back against the wall. I don't know why that seems so loose. I hope that's not going to be a leaker or something. I don't know. And these have rubber gaskets in them too. So we don't want to over tighten them. Oh man, my elbow went right through that. It really needed to be replaced, doesn't it? So, tightening this one up. Tighten this one up. I don't know how it seems to get itself tighter and tighter, but they do. Alright. Well, that's all I'm going to tighten them for now. Alright, see, that was pretty easy. We're all in. The thing is, I like to use my spray arm to fill my Keurig. So if that reaches over there where I can spray it into the thing, yep, which it does, I'm happy. Alright. Get back down. Now this hose will straighten out over time. And there we go. That part is done. Dare I turn the water on? I'll turn the cold on. They're only quarter turn knobs. And I'll turn the hot on. And we'll keep checking them. And let me stick a pot under there. Because I don't have the drain hooked up, of course, yet. Cold, hot, spray. All right. Look at that, it turns. Can you get it out of the way here? Oh yeah, our other one didn't turn as far. Alright, we'll be back and we've got to put the disposer in. So I think the next thing we need to do, now that we got the water hooked up to the spigot, is, I think if this is exactly the same, I'm going to reuse it because I had to cut this little 90 extension here on the old one. So we're going to set these parts aside right now. I'm sure they supplied a new gasket, which I will be installing the new gasket, however. It's just a little rubber. This is the output. Little rubber Disposer right there. Flat, square. Okay, so let's take the cord off in this. Now, of course, it's a Phillips, but I have a Phillips with me here somewhere. I just put my elbow through the floor in there, so it's a good thing I got a new piece of wood for the floor under the cabinet. Exterior 1/2-inch plywood. Alright. 2 wire nuts. And a ground wire. If you know anything about wiring, that's pretty much how it goes. I'm going to probably reuse all this stuff because this is going to be exactly the same going into the other one. Alright, alright. I think I got to take the wire out of it though. I can't spin it around and around and around. So we loosen up the Romex clamp. It's a 3/8 Romex clamp, but it fits into a half-inch pipe thread, so don't ask me why they call it a 3/8. And this piece is ready for the junkyard. Well, that's nice too. It's got a little rubber, a little plastic seal under it there to keep it from chafing the wire at all. So we bring our new one over. Now see, all I did is I bought a good heavy extension cord, And that's how I made the plug for this. But I was over Home Depot just now, and I see that they actually have cords for your disposer that's short like that to add a plug. So I guess my idea just got passed on or whatever. I got something. Okay. Hopefully the wires are stripped. They are. Tighten that up a little bit. That's as far as it goes and it spins, so apparently it's to the end of the threads. I'm just going to twist these wires together to make them feed through here better. Ah, you stupid things. They always have to be difficult. Going up behind the little plastic sheet there. So we're going to turn that bugger right upside down here. And direct these wires where I want them. Come on, stupid thing. You can see why I twisted them together. My wife came out earlier and said, "Oh, I thought you were on the telephone." I said, "No, I'm talking to my fans and friends on my camera here." We're all friends, aren't we? Come on. They give you lots of room in these junction boxes, don't they? And shove him in so that the wire is well through the connector like that. All right. Uh-oh, here comes the boss. I better straighten up now. Okay, so now we got the wire clamp. Just snugly, don't crush it, don't pinch it to death. Just snug. Take your ground wire, wrap it around your green screw into the chassis. That way if the motor ever shorts out and puts AC power to the chassis, this will short it out and blow the circuit breaker. That's pretty much what a ground wire is for. That just makes the chassis connected to earth ground. Out by your panel box at your house, your neutral bar from your panel box will be connected to your ground rods. There we go, just tighten that up snug. Tuck him in. I don't like these tinned wires the way they got them, but because you can't really intermingle the cables together. But these wire nuts bite pretty darn tight, and that wire is rough so it won't slide off the end. And you can't twist them up too much or you'll twist your wire right off. So be aware. I'm going to tuck the wire nuts back here so I can kind of see them underneath the plate. Okay, there we go. See how I got them? Let me zoom in a little bit here for you. Got the wire nuts tucked so they're down inside there. They're not near the cover screw. And then this cover just sits on there. There's 3 little lips that it like catches so it doesn't slide around. These also come with a circuit breaker. Should they stall and jam, there's a circuit breaker on the bottom that will blow. So if you find yours not working, it could very possibly just be that. So, as I told you before, if you look inside this hole for the dishwasher connection, there's an obstruction for those who don't want to use a dishwasher. So all you got to do is take your screwdriver and break that out. All the way around. And I just heard it fall in there finally. So don't forget to take it out, because it'll jam up your... Come on, where'd you go? Stupid thing. There it is. Okay, so that's what I just knocked out. Have you ever seen down inside there? There's slots around the outside edge like a grater, and then there's like these movable wings that flap around in there and throw stuff against the side there, and that's how it grinds it up. Just a little technology review here if you want to consider such. Okay, I just pulled my gasket off, and that just snaps over the edge again like so. Alright, so that's the top seal. This is your ring that attaches everything to. Now I'm going to get the new gasket out of this. But I'm going to use the same old I guess I might as well just put the new screws in. Okay, put the new gasket in here. I'm going to get my old flange, which I got a new flange, new flange and the old flange are exactly the same. I'm going to start my screws. This stuff is easy. Plumbers get a lot of money for doing stuff like this, and I'm not putting them down for that. It's a great trade. A lot of people just don't have the knowledge or the desire to mess with plumbing, especially when you get into the nasty stuff. So just alternately tighten these up until they're all the way down. Turn him straight down. There you go. Tighten them up. Okay, so we've opened this dishwasher inlet up. We've got the new wire on it. We can test it actually. Before we get it in there, it's better to test it, isn't it? Okay. There we go. Now, the fun part is, if I can see it, we have to lift it up onto that and retighten that knuckle. And this is pointing towards the back for the plumbing to work right. So, I get him up in there. I'm using my elbow against the bottom to lift with. This is always fun. It's always best if you got a helper. Trying to figure out where the ears are. Oh, there they are. I'm going to try to lift it from the bottom. Alright, I'm going to have to get help to do this. Alright. Well, what I've done is, without the availability of a helper, I've come up with a plan. And my plan is to use this jack to get me up into position so I You know, hold this stupid thing up. Just like that. And get the wire out of the back. Won't hurt anything if that sits right there. One indeed isn't one indeed, or whatever the saying goes. Alright, we're sort of up in the fitting now. Let me check the top. That is an incinerator. She looks uptight. And she looks flush. I'm going to put a little pressure on her. Alright. I should ought to be able to get, I got one side up. There it goes. There we go. Alright. I think we're all hooked. Let me check the other side. Yep. Alright, now what you do is you take yourself a Phillips screwdriver. Of course, they do give you the tool, and you can put the tool in it and tighten that up. Now, you can still rotate it a little, so I'm going to let her down. Get this out of the way. And now we have to fiddle with all that plumbing as well. But before I do the plumbing, I need to do the floor. Because when the plumbing's in, I won't be able to get the floor in. So I have to take this contraption out for the garbage can thingy. And that's just in there with some short screws. Alright. So I'm going to clean this out a little more before I cover it up with the plywood. But that's pretty much all I got left to do. Whew. The plastic stuff goes together finger tight. You don't even need a tool for that. We didn't even need to use the basin wrench. I got to show you something. This is called a basin wrench. And my daddy taught me that actually I probably inherited this from him. This is so when you reach up behind the sink bowl, which you can't get any kind of wrench in there and turn it because it's just a narrow slot. This is a wrench with a rotating head that bites like a pipe wrench. You can loosen it going this way, or you can tighten going this way, and you can do it all from below the sink. And I have one this size, and I have one that's for a little bit larger size pipe. In the old days, they were, you know, threaded pipes up in there. So you had to deal with that. But it doesn't look like any of our plumbing is leaking down here. I don't see any water. I think we're all good to go. No drips anywhere. So I'm going to measure this up, clean this up, and I'll be back with the cut wood. I'm just going to go out to the shop and cut the wood to the exact shape, and then I got to cut it in half down the middle because I can't get it through the door hole. Alright. Alrighty, so the hole is all cleaned out. As clean as it's getting. As clean as it can be. These should be cut just the right width. And slip right in there. I'm up against the hose clamp over here. Hold on. There we go. Oh, come on. Are you shitting me? Why is that tight? Well, I guess it's tight. It is tight. needed a little persuading. Hopefully the next piece is a little better. Should. Are you kidding me? Alright, well, I'm just going to have to drive this one back the other way a little bit. So it drops in. There we go. I need to get a pry bar under there. Which I have a screwdriver. Pry bar, screwdriver, whatever. I want them to be together tight in the middle. I don't want to. There we go. Hey guys, that's like a floor repair. I think it looks like a floor repair. Try it down this way. And I'm just going to put screws around the perimeter. Alright, so I guess you probably don't need to see me screw it down. Now I got to figure how the puzzle goes back together. The drain puzzle. I got the new plywood just caught and screwed in here. You didn't really probably need to see that, so I didn't show that. This is the part that comes over from here. Was that turned? Oh no, this was this way, wasn't it? Okay. So this first part went up on here, on the back. Alright, and I just put it together loose right now. They're just compression O-rings, so it makes it really easy for everything to go together. Oh, I'm going to put the dishwasher hose on right now, so as I don't forget. And we'll put him right up on there. Screwdriver to tighten that up. Alright, I'm sorry you're not seeing much of this. It's just a hose clamp on that hose behind the disposer here. And that's all there is to that. Okay. So these O-ring areas a little bit. And apparently this guy come down from the top, and there should be an O-ring that goes up in there. I dropped it. Oh no, there it is. Okay, there's a little T-shape kind of. It's like a gasket with a rim on it. That's what goes up against your strainer bowl in the bottom of the sink, see? And it fits into the tip of this pipe, leads into it like a funnel, and lets you tighten that up onto the bottom of your duflase there. Now this guy, if I remember right, I just kept turning him in. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah, that's a ticket. Push this guy all the way up on as far as he goes. I want this to flow downhill. That guy's already tight. Alright, we're almost done. Hey guys. And gals, I'm cleaning off the bottom of these O-rings, and he goes right in there, and the guy starts up in there, and we gotta just wiggle this together. There we go. So, as I said, these are all compression fittings, so you just tighten them up by hand. Make sure that guy lines up good. And gaskets in between these are wedge-shaped, tapered bearings, like or seals. And I think everything is tight. And normally I just run the electric cord up over the top like this. Maybe I'll wrap it around the pipe a couple times here. Keep it short as I can. Get it up short. Run it over the top. There you go. That keeps it out of the way. And I think we're done. I don't have any spare parts. I'm gonna tighten these guys up. Make sure they're nice and tight. Nice and tight. Time to run some butter. First on the right side. See, your drains take up a lot of space in your kitchen sink, don't they? I see the water bubbling through here. Let's flip it over to the disposer side. All right, well there we are. New plywood, new disposer, new faucet set. The wife said she's going to polyurethane this, so I don't know if she's doing it right now. But a couple coats of polyurethane. That is exterior plywood. Incinerator. I don't see any leaks. I'll put a craft load of water through it here in a second. One thing you missed is before I started making videos, I actually installed one of those instantaneous hot water heaters. It takes 54 amps, made by Niagara Industries. It's called Titan, I believe. Titan SCR 120. And it heats plenty of water for one point of view. So like we put it in our cottage at the lake, and it runs the shower and the sink and everything. Of course the trailer cottage only has a shower, a bathroom sink, and a kitchen sink. Over in our barn we've got a bathroom as well, so we put one in the barn to service that, and there's the downstairs sink, but nobody ever uses it at the same time. Okay, here comes a bunch of water. And there goes a bunch of water. Well, I'm happy if you're happy. We'll see you next time right here. I'm all sweaty and nasty. I'm crawling under the sink. We'll see you next time. God bless. Take care. And the next video coming up, let's see. I have another episode of building the cabinets for the cabin. What else have I got to do? Oh my goodness. We're putting in 2 showers and those kitchen cabinets at the lake, and we're going to do 900 square feet of snap together vinyl flooring. I'll catch a little of that. There's so many videos out there on how to do that. I'm just going to show you that I'm doing it. Alright guys, see you next time.